You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Monday, April 6th. I'm Johnny Connor. Thanks for listening to Four Things to Know. Now, before we get into our top story, we did have a technical error from last Friday's show. The episode did not post properly last week. That is up now, so you can go back and check it out. But sorry about that, everyone, but it is up now, so you can go check it out. Let's get to our top story. We are hearing from a family directly impacted by the ICE surge in Minnesota. We all remember Liam Ramos, the little boy from Columbia Heights in the blue bunny hat, that picture that everyone saw, it seemed like. Well, Liam and his parents sat down with CBS News immigration correspondent Camilo Montoya Galvez in an exclusive interview to discuss their experience in ICE custody.
Liam Conejo Ramos is in many ways just like any other 5-year-old boy.
La pizza.
You like pizza, okay? ¿Qué tipo de pizza? What type of pizza do you like?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni.
But what he doesn't yet understand is that his story is at the center of America's polarizing immigration debate. Images of Liam, confused, standing alongside ICE agents on a cold Minnesota afternoon in January, sparked national and global outrage. His father, Adrian Conejo Arias, had just picked up Liam from school.
ICE has told us that you tried to escape, flee, evade arrest, and that you abandoned Liam in the process. Is that accurate?
No es verdad lo
It's
que
not true.
dicen las personas, no.
ICE claims Liam's mother, Erica, refused to take him, but she says she feared the whole family would be detained.
Do you believe ICE was using Liam as bait?
Sí.
Yes, you do.
ICE transferred Liam and his father to a family detention facility in Texas, accusing them of being in the U.S. illegally. The family from Ecuador says they entered the country legally at a port of entry in 2023 under a Biden administration program.
Lo más difícil es que no podía hacer nada.
You couldn't do anything. You were powerless.
After 2 weeks, a federal judge ordered them released, but the government is still pushing for their deportation, recently terminating the family's asylum case and asking the court to allow ICE to detain them once again.
Entonces creo que fue una injusticia que nos hayan hecho eso, cuando en realidad sí estábamos haciendo todo bien.
Now back home, Liam is seeing a psychologist, and his parents say he seems to be a different boy.
What are you scared about the most?
La migración.
Immigration. ICE. The family is now actively appealing the termination of their asylum case. But if that fails, their lawyer tells us the family could be detained a second time and potentially deported to their native Ecuador. The Trump administration is saying that anyone here without proper documents, including 5-year-old Liam, is subject to deportation. But advocates argue that this case illustrates and underscores a broader pattern of the administration targeting non-criminal immigrants who are trying to comply with the immigration process.
And we will certainly keep you updated on the family's appeal of the termination of their asylum case once we know more about that case. Now to our second story. The Minneapolis police chief is facing about 15 times the number of conduct complaints as his predecessor did. Police Chief Brian O'Hara believes it's related to criticism of how he handled the ICE surge in Minneapolis. City data shows people logged 30 complaints against Chief O'Hara over the course of his tenure. The Office of Community Safety closed 8 of them, meaning 22 are still open. We don't get to see what the complaints actually say, and neither does O'Hara. They're actually kept a secret unless a complaint warrants punitive action. O'Hara believes that many of the complaints actually came recently.
I learned from reading the Star Tribune article that apparently since the surge, the number of complaints have doubled, which I think that says something about it right there.
He does not expect this to impact starting a new term as chief. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey has until August to officially renominate him. In a statement to WCCO, the mayor did not definitively say that he'll get the nomination, but he did praise O'Hara's work since he took the job back in 2022. Number 3. Today, President Trump held a news conference amid new reports of a possible ceasefire proposal with Iran. Yesterday, the president made an expletive-laden post on Truth Social, warning Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face, quote, a living hell. Also yesterday, the Trump administration announced that a missing American was rescued 2 days after his fighter jet was shot down over Iran. You probably heard about that. Senior officials say special forces recovered the wounded airman from the mountains where he had hidden as Iranians also searched for him. Trump then said today that someone leaked that second American was on that downed plane. And if you remember, the first airman was recovered. Trump went on to say that Iran may not have actually known 2 people were on that downed craft.
A leaker leaked that we have one, we've rescued one, but there's another one out there that we're trying to get. So actually, the country, Iran, put out a major notice, you all saw it, offering a very big award for anybody that captures the pilot. So in addition to a hostile, very talented, very good, very evil military, we had millions of people trying to get an award. So we have to find that leaker because that's a sick person.
And your fourth thing to know today, as the war in Iran continues, fertilizer prices are skyrocketing across the globe. Senator Amy Klobuchar has co-authored 2 bills to address the high costs. One of those bills would create a mandatory price reporting system, and the other would create a grant and loan program to expand domestic fertilizer production. Now, this morning, Senator Klobuchar paid a visit to a farm in Cannon Falls as she discussed her plans on lowering prices.
You know, hopefully this war will come to an end and this piece of it can improve, but until that we have an immediate crisis, but then we have this long-term crisis that has been developing because of the consolidation in the market and because of the tariffs.
And you might not have known this, but even before the war, fertilizer prices were up 22% from February of 25 to February of 26. Those are the 4 things to know today. Let's check in on our next weather forecast.
I'm next weather meteorologist Lisa Meadows with your forecast as we head into tonight. It's going to be a cold one. We're down to 20 for a low tonight. Tomorrow we hit the mid 40s. So we start the warming trend tomorrow, warming to the 60s by Wednesday.
And now, here's more to know.
New today, Minnesota's Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Natalie Hudson, announced that she will retire in September. Minnesota state law imposes mandatory retirement for judges when they turn 70 years old. Chief Justice Hudson will do that in January of 2027. In a statement today, Hudson said that, quote, "When Governor Walz appointed me to this position, I knew my time as Chief Justice would be relatively short, given Minnesota's mandatory retirement age for judges. Even so, I have been deeply grateful for the opportunity to lead the Minnesota judicial branch during this chapter. To serve in this role has been a profound honor, and I am thankful for the trust that was placed in me." A Minneapolis street could soon be named after a fallen police officer. Officer Jamal Mitchell was killed while on duty in 2024. It happened in the Whittier neighborhood. Another person was also killed that day. Today, members of the city's planning commission will meet to add a commemorative street name to Blythedale Avenue, going from Franklin Avenue West to 22nd Street West. It would be Officer Jamal Mitchell Way. We'll have more on this tonight on WCCO. Also today, the federal trial of a man accused of firebombing a Northeast Minneapolis ice cream shop last fall. You'll remember back at Fletcher's Ice Cream and Cafe back in October, that business targeted twice within 24 hours. No one was hurt, but the shop was damaged. A 30-year-old man has been charged with arson and attempted arson. His jury trial started this morning. We will, of course, be following it and keep you updated. Church leaders say this may have been the last Easter for a more than century-old church in Minneapolis. Since 1913, St. Clement Church has stood the test of time in Minneapolis's Northeast Arts District. It served as a social hub for countless community members and lifelong residents, but the church's future is uncertain. Church leaders say a piece of equipment as old as the church itself is to blame, and despite patches and fixes over the years, they say the church's boiler is on its last legs and is too expensive to fix. Longtime parishioner Anne Marie Cosgrove says the church is a key piece of the community.
This is where my grandparents went to church. My parents were married here. All my siblings and I were baptized here. I'm trying to not have an emotional reaction to this, but it is emotional, but I'm also praying that a miracle happens.
A fix would cost roughly $150,000. That's according to church leaders. The Archdiocese of St. Paul and Minneapolis is set to help with fundraising, but church leaders say that doesn't kick off until next January, so that money would come in too late. Starting today, you can expect some delays if you plan on driving on the I-94 bridge over the St. Croix River in Hudson. A massive construction project on the bridge is reducing lanes through October. Crews did begin preliminary work on this last September, and now they'll be replacing sidewalk railings, making concrete surface repairs, and repainting pavement markings. They are expected to finish by Halloween, but their schedule is dependent on the weather. Let's get to sports. The Minnesota Twins host the Detroit Tigers tonight at Target Field. It's been a very tough start to the season for the Twins. Just 3 wins, 6 losses so far. They went 1-2 last series at Target Field where the Tampa Bay Rays were in town. So now Detroit's here. 6:40 first pitch tonight. Ooh, it'd be chilly out there tonight. Let's get to hockey. Great weekend for the Wild. Back-to-back wins. Now, we do already know the Wild will play Dallas in round 1. It's all but mathematically certain. The question is, though, who will have home ice advantage between those two teams? Right now, the Wild trail Dallas by just 2 points in the standings. Both teams play each other on Thursday. This could get really interesting for home ice advantage. The Wolves are off tonight. They have lost 3 in a row, so not good there. But the good news is they are basically a lock to avoid the play-in round. Right now, they're the 6th seed in the Western Conference, 3 games up on the 7th seed. So that is good. That's all that really matters at this point, is that they avoid that. It looks like they definitely will. And back to hockey quickly. The Frost beat Vancouver over the weekend. They now have a long time off. They're off until Saturday. Hopefully they can use it for some rest and recovery, maybe some good food too. It's always the best. You get like a week off, whatever you're doing. It's great.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
You've likely seen this. By tonight, Artemis 2 will make its closest approach to the moon. And the crew of 4 will get to experience something that no humans ever have, orbiting the moon at the furthest distance any manned mission has ever traveled. Artemis 2 astronaut Victor Glover gave this message on Easter yesterday, the day before tonight's lunar flyby.
You're on a spaceship called Earth that was created to give us a place to live in the universe. Trust me, you are special. In all of this emptiness, whether you believe in God or not, this is an opportunity for us to remember where we are, who we are, and that we are the same thing and that we got to get through this together.
Really nice message there. Looking forward to seeing all the imagery, hopefully tonight or whenever we get that back, but what a mission. It's been fun to follow. I'm Johnny Connor. This has been 4 Things to Know. We are here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Happy Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'm Maria Lizignoli, and this podcast comes to you from the WCCO podcast studio.
I'm Johnny Connor, and this is where you'll find the latest news of the day with us on 4 Things to Know.
I'm Mariel Mose, and I bring you the stories behind the female athletes redefining the game on women in sports.
I'm Adam Duxter. Join me for a deep dive into faith and what it means to Minnesotans around the state on Bigger Than Belief.
Stay in the know on the go with the WCCO podcast studio. Go to WCCO.com/podcasts.